For anybody who's used to watching my videos, you're probably very much used to seeing this particular look when I'm working with my Helix and creating presets. You'll see this image of me or a different video angle down here, and you'll see HX Edit up here. And you'll usually see us together like this while I edit, and you can kind of see me noodle and play probably mostly inappropriate licks and playing for whatever we're doing. So that's a format that's worked for me, and it seems to work for most people. They get to see what I'm doing, see what I'm playing, and so on and so forth. But that could make people believe that that is the best way of editing presets. And well, maybe it is for some, and maybe it is for certain situations. And it's a setup that I really like for creating presets. I love to have HX Edit open. It's so easy to add and subtract blocks. It's so easy to tweak things and save presets, export, import, do everything we need to do. So, 90% of the time I do use HX Edit. It's a wonderful piece of software. I love it. It works pretty much flawlessly for me. But there are times where we're going to have to use the actual physical hardware unit. Maybe we're on location at a performance. Maybe we're at sound check. Maybe we're in the middle of a song in a gig, in a performance. We need to edit something. So for that reason, I really do believe all Helix users should get used to being able to make these same changes on their physical hardware unit. But wouldn't it be nice if we had a way that we could make little changes to presets, edit settings, save them, all without using our hands while we're sitting and playing our parts on our guitar and actually hear the changes in real time while we're playing, so we can have that feel of the changes being made while we're playing and possibly make better decisions in our final settings and maybe get the tones we want even quicker. Well, is that even possible, or is that just a pipe dream? Well, there is a feature on the Helix that I've personally never really talked about too much. I did touch on it in a previous video where I was talking about all the different modes, but what we're talking about today is pedal edit mode, where we can actually take a preset that's already set up, take whatever parameters we need to tweak on the fly while we're playing, whether it be mid-performance, at a gig, or maybe at a sound check, or maybe just because, as I mentioned, we want to actually play with our hands, hitting the strings, bending the strings, sliding notes, pinch harmonics, whatever, while we're making the changes. Maybe adding more drive, maybe adding more delay, maybe taking some delay away, adding more compression, less compression, and then being able to save that to our preset without our hands ever leaving our guitar. Well, is this possible? It sure is. And I'm going to show you how to do that today and just how simple it is. Now, I know a lot of folks are already well aware that this feature exists, and a lot of folks do use this, but I'm always surprised at how some of these features fly under the radar, and some folks don't know they're there, and they're really missing out on tools that could really help them to get a lot more out of their Helix and better results. So without further ado, let's head over to Helix Floor. So here we are over at Helix Floor, and you'll notice I've got a little preset set up here. I have a RevGen Red amp model, a gray flanger, a high and low shelf EQ, I believe it's a transistor tape delay, and I believe a dynamic room reverb, and a little LA Studio comp at the end. I didn't even really listen to what this preset sounded like. I just threw some blocks together, but let's see what it does sound like. Not bad for kind of going about it blindly, so it works nicely. You'll notice that I'm in snapshot mode right now. I haven't really set any snapshots up, but if we go up to the top right-hand corner button, you'll see it says Preset, Stomp, and hold to edit. Well, if I hit that once, just tapping it, we go into Stompbox Mode. I did a video a couple weeks ago showing how we had preset mode and Stompbox Mode and snapshot mode and how those can all be used. You'll notice now I have some of the effects blocks just assigned to pedals, and I can turn those on and off from here. Or I could go back to snapshot mode. Now, regardless of which one of those modes I'm in, if I use this hold to edit function of that top right-hand corner button, it does something very interesting, which is the topic of this video, and it's going to take us into pedal edit mode. So let's say we've dialed this preset in, we really like what we're hearing. Everything's good, but we get to, for instance, as one possible example, we get to a performance. We're on stage, maybe we're doing sound check, and we notice Maybe I want a little bit more drive from my amp, or a little bit less drive. Maybe I want a little more delay, a little less compression. Maybe I want a little more reverb. Sometimes we don't know exactly how any of those things are going to sit in a mix until we start jamming with the band at stage volume. So instead of, pulling a laptop out, hooking a USB cord up, opening HX Edit to start editing our preset, or even getting down on one knee, bending down and shuffling through menus and twisting knobs, wouldn't it be nice to just be able to edit that with our guitar in our hand while we're playing? And the beauty of this is it's really nice to get instant feedback from what we're playing and letting our ears and our fingers feel the difference of the changes we're making. Sometimes even on HX Edit, we can play a chord, play a lick, tweak a knob, or move a slider, and setting it to a new setting. Then we go back to our guitar and we play, and we go, I wonder if that was better than before. And we kind of go back and forth, and that can be a tedious process sometimes. So if we're playing at the same time as being able to make these moves because our hands are free, we're going to be able to possibly make better decisions in editing our presets. So let's show how this works. I'm going to go up and I'm going to long hold, or hold to edit, that top right-hand corner button. You'll notice we have a bunch of flashing lights on our different buttons now, and it's basically showing us all the different blocks that I have in this preset. There's LA Studio Comp, Input 1A, Output 1A, Output 2A, Rev Gen Red, Gray Flanger, Low and High Shelf, Transistor Tape, and Dynamic Room. All the different things I can edit. There's also a More button up in the top right-hand corner. Let's press that. You notice it doesn't really do anything because we've already got everything from this preset on the screen. But let's say we had more blocks. Let's say we had chorus and phaser and whatever else, another reverb. If we hit that More button, it would just simply give us the choice of selecting one of those other available blocks in our preset. So let's do this. Let's say that, for instance, I was on the Rev Gen Red model and I found that I needed more or less drive. I can now hit the Rev Gen Red button. And now what it does is it puts up on screen all the different parameters that are available. You'll notice across the top it says, and I hope this is coming out clear on camera, it says drive, bass, mid, treble, presence, channel volume. I can go back to the previous menu, but I don't want to be there right now. I could page over either way. And you'll notice when I page over, I now have master, resonance, aggression, sag, hum, ripple, bias, and bias X. So all of the controls of the amp basically at my feet. We'll page back to the original page. We also have value buttons. So you'll notice right now the drive button is selected. It's illuminated up there in the top left-hand corner. I can use my value button, and you'll notice that I can go up in 0.1 increments on my drive. Now, I could be playing while I'm doing this. Now I might find, yeah, perfect. I like the feel of that. I'm up to 6.3 on the drive. I don't know where I started. Maybe I was around 3 or something, but I go, yeah, that's perfect. I like that. Or I can also use my expression pedal way over on the right side, and I can play while I move that around, and you'll notice the parameters will change as well. Now let's say I boosted it all the way up to say 7.6. Now I could say, well, I find now the channel volume might need to come down a bit. While I'm still playing, come over and hit the top right-hand corner button, which says channel volume. And I could adjust that downwards. To wherever we need it. Or I could have just used my value buttons to do more fine tuning instead of going with the big jump of the expression pedal. Once I'm happy with that, I can hit my back button. And you might also say, I think I need a little bit more delay. So I'll hit my transistor tape, which is one of the flashing buttons right now of the blocks that are available. You'll see the same sort of thing happens. I have time, feedback, wow, flutter, scale, spread, mix, and let's say I just want a little bit more feedback. Maybe a touch more mix. And we dial it into perfection using our feet while we play. Now, once we're happy with that, if we look down at the bottom right-hand corner button, it says exit, or it says hold to save and exit. So if we just tap that, we're going to lose all our changes. We're not going to have those saved. But if we press and hold it, we've now saved those settings, and we can go on using our preset just as we would like normal, back to snapshot mode, or switching to Stompbox mode, however we feel we need to use it, with those new settings saved to our preset that will work for whatever situation we needed to make them for in the first place. So there you have it, pedal edit mode. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Was that useful? Like I said before, I'm sure there's many of you who are already very well aware that this mode existed, and probably a lot of you that were actually using it to very good effect and on a regular basis. But for those who didn't, I really think it's one of those things where whether you knew it was there and it intimidated you, or whether you just didn't know it was there or didn't know how to use it, I would really give it a try, and you might find that it really helps you to, like I said, get more out of your Helix and get better results quicker. Always great when we have something that allows us to speed up our workflow to get to our end goals faster. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you spending your time with me. Please like the video. I think it's an important one. Share it with anybody who you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. And also please subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.